Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. So we are going to do Emac Lisp coding today. Emac Lisp. So video check, audio check. Okay, we are good to go. So Emac Lisp, let me show you what we are going to do, okay? So we are just going to code Emac Lisp live, and as I do it, I'm going to explain maybe some tutorial and maybe a little bit randomish. Because today's topic is kind of esoteric, okay? So it's just mostly for me. I need to code some Emac Lisp, so I just made it a live stream. So it's a little bit more advanced Emac Lisp. So if you don't know Emac Lisp, you never had beginner's tutorial, you might check out my Emac Lisp tutorial. So I have a video before. So you go to Emac Lisp Basics, just search for it, and you'll find I did a introduction Emac Lisp for beginner. So you watch that one. But today it's gonna be more complicated, okay? So let's begin. So we are going to, and I love to see your comments, okay? Comments and questions posted there. Hey, Oflamio. So, okay, so Emac Lisp, so what we're going to do is that I'm going to write a command, write a elisp command, function that given let's start to write the documentation, okay? So meanwhile, so we can write the documentation, and so let's begin Emac Lisp coding. So define a function. Let me tell you what we are writing. So this command will be called XHTML, let's say fix links, okay? Let's just call it that. And the docstring, so here is what we're gonna do. Here is what the command is going to do. Given a text block, so we need three variables. Text, okay? The first variable is text, which is just a block of text, a string. And current path, okay? Then current path is a current file path where this block of text came from, okay? Then target path, okay? This target path is where you're gonna move this block of text to. So there's a from and to, source and destination, okay? So you're gonna copy a text block from one file basically to another file. And when you do that, all your local links may not work anymore. So in this command, given a text block, change all links or local links, fix all local links so that they are correct in the target path, okay? That is what this command is going to do. Now, let me show you a demonstration of why do we need that, okay? So let's go to my programming blog. So I work nonstop on my programming blogs, update, check them out, okay? So there's CSS tutorial. I keep working on them, lots of things. So there's also 3 columns layout. Let me show you this 3 columns layout, CSS. It's actually a new feature. So this is like a newspaper column layout. So this feature became available a few years ago, okay? So, I keep updating my website. Then there is JavaScript, how to iterate loop a HTML elements, when you get them from get elements. So this is DOM, get elements by ID, by name, by tag name, by class attribute, and so on. So once you get a bunch of them, how do you loop through them? fairly complex because changes over the past 10 years. Because there is not list and there is live object or non-live object. Then there's not list versus HTML collection. So if you are a JavaScript coder, if you are a web dev, check out my JavaScript tutorial in depth. Okay, so as I was saying, I was working on my blog all the time, technical topics, Unix. So you have some microsystems, Solaris. This is Asian. This is around year 2000. I wrote this. So right now, so in the past days, I just rework them, move some parts into a new page so it's easier to search. So you have Sun Microsystem Solaris or Sun OS, then you have HP UX, then came around Linux, around year 2000 becomes popular. It began in 1993 also. So in the beginning you have Debian. The most popular is Debian, Yellow Dog, Linux, Debian, Red Hat, and SUSE or SUSE, however you pronounce that. These are the most popular 20 years ago. Then, of course, you have FreeBSD, very interesting history. So you can see AT&T there, and you can see DOS there. And then you have Next Computer, which is the revenge of Steve Jobs. He got kicked out from the company Apple he started. So he started Next, and the Next failed. Then there's BOS, which Apple, sabotaged them essentially. BOS, all the corporate backstabbing and so on. And the Unix, Linux idiots, they don't know it. They just think open source is great. Anyway, so there's Apple. So I did a lot. So let me get back to the Emac list. So what am I doing? Let me tell you, okay? What am I doing? Why are we? And there's Git. Recently I updated a lot Git tutorials. So, check them out. And why Python sucks, and geometric inversion. That's my favorite thing, geometry. And okay, so let me show you what is it I need. I need to code this. Okay, Crazy Frog. Hello. I think long time no see. Thoughts on the new tree sitter integration for parsing. What is that? I don't know what is that. Is that an Emacs thing? Explain. Okay. Explain. I don't know what that is. So we're gonna code Emac this first. Then we're gonna. So anyway, let me show you what is it we need to do. Okay. So for example, I have a lot. So you are looking at my xali.info and go up one directory. You can see xali.info, and there is huge amount of about 7,000 files among my domains. Okay, xart, those domains are all gone. Now it's just xali.info and xali.org. I moved everything else into xali.info and xali.org. So xali.info is mostly programming and math, okay, technical topics, and xali.org is other things, random. Lots of other things, arts and literature and writing and politics and so on. And also music, it's all moved into xali.org. Okay, let me show you. So here is xali.org, and then you have xali.info, then you have several other sections, English and art and music, songs, human animals and their songs. An analysis, look at the human history or culture via what they sing. You look at what, there's tons of songs on love, on all kind of things, and you read, you check out their music and lyrics, and you look at you do analysis on what are they saying. Different culture, they say different things, different type of songs, rock and roll, heavy metal, country music, love songs, and love songs. Lots, you have love songs among all these, almost all of them, except maybe heavy metal. So you can see certain topics goes with certain songs. Then you have Chinese songs, which is entirely different culture. And you have rap, of course. Rap is mostly, hatred, anti-cops, this kind of thing. Gangster rap, and so on. So anyway, so that's Ksali, and you have arts, of course. That's Ksali.org, okay? And there is also Second Life, which is exploration of the virtual reality, the meta universe. Today it's called meta, but 15 years ago, this is emerging technology, virtual life, Second Life, okay? I spent about 4 years every day in it, exploring the technology, the futurism, what are we going to be in the future? What is society going to be like? So I write a lot of things, and there's also a section on politics which I do not link here. So I want to avoid the dribbles, or drama. This political party is doing what? It's hateful, and so on. So I don't link here. So that's Ksali.org. So we digressed a lot. So anyway, let's go back to Ksali.info. So here is technical stuff, computer programming and mathematics. So there's Wolfram language and mathematics, and there's keyboard and efficiency and programming languages, Python, Perl, Ruby, Haskell, Java, Clojure, JavaScript. I tell you all about it. So that's the introduction to my website. So but what are we doing? So what what is it that I need to do today? So let's go back. So let me show you, okay? So you can see here's my directory structure. There are so many things, 7,000 HTML files, basically. And now, common questions, okay, posted there. But now I have a problem. The problem is, okay, so let's go to Ksali.info comp, okay? So that is my programming blog. I have, if you go back to Ksali.info, Xcode, I have several blogs, Xa Talk Show, which is what we are doing today, and keyboard blog, lots of tons, 1,000 pages there. Then you have programming blog. Then you have math blog. Math blog, I haven't been so active because math is, difficult. And recently I learned p-adic numbers. It's very advanced, fantastic. P-adic numbers, advanced number theory. So there it is, my math blog, and a lot of it focus on the decorative things in mathematics, algorithmic mathematical art. I need to do a full video on this one day. I did one before, but not so good. I need to do a full video one day on defining what is algorithmic mathematical art. So it needs to be mathematical, but it also needs to be algorithmic. And there are certain requirements in the definition. It's not just, for example, a lot of you Zoomers and Millennial idiots, you would be interested in genetic art, generic art. No, what's it called? Let's digress a little bit. Let's search generative art, okay? That's the most worthless shit. This generative art, okay? This is the most worthless shit. What this is generative art is just doodling. You know what is doodling? Let me show you what is doodling. Okay, so let's go to okay, so let's open that one. We need to open it in Snip and Sketch. Okay, so you know sometimes we just doodle. You know, when we talk on the phone and we just like without concentration, we just draw something. You know, doodle. You know, this is doodling. You know. This is manual doodling, you know. That is what generative art is, okay? That's doodling with computer, the most idiotic fuck. So, you know, if you are a programmer, a lot of you are, and you know, Emacs users, you know, and you might be interested in creating, you know, algorithmic drawing. You know, don't you know, have some brain. Don't fall into this, you know, generative art crap. Okay, there are several languages dedicated to generative art. Those are crap, and this generative art is usually sponsored. You know, it rolls up with the Malan Jen and Zoomer crowd. They don't know things. Okay, so you don't want generative art. And you don't want ray tracing. Ray tracing is a classic hacker, you know, programmer, especially of the C, C++, or the Rust type of people. When they hear ray tracing, they get excited. Oh, ray tracing, they're gonna, you know, they think that's math. No, that's not math, okay? This generative art is shit. It's not math, and nor is it art. Not math and not art. Generative art. Not math and not art. Ray tracing, let me show you ray tracing. Okay, actually I have an article, you know, recently. So let's open my blog. Let me show you this article. Okay, why ray tracing is not math. Okay, this is a rant turned into a essay from Xali Discord. You know, if you haven't already joined the Xali Discord, interesting people, and we have arguments, you know, Xali Discord, on all sort of topics. So math, so, you know, ray tracing, let me show you first of all, ray tracing, you know, look at that, you know, programmers get excited about this. oh, mathematics, oh, linear algebra, oh God, matrix, this is so difficult. I need to master ray tracing. The most idiotic fuck programmers. This is not math, okay? What is math? What is math-oriented art or mathematical art? That is a piece of drawing or visualization or artwork that embodies mathematics. Okay, so Escher's math work, artwork, woodcut, you know, sketches, you know, oil pen or whatever. They are not even done by computer. Okay, they are done manually by an artist. Okay, but those are mathematical art. Okay. You know, this, for example, this is Escher's artwork, woodcut, okay? Wood engraving, you know, it's actually using, you know, some sort of carving wood, okay, to create this artwork. And here is modern one done in Second Life. You know, we talked about Second Life virtual reality. So a friend, Wizard Gynoid, you know, he created an emulation of the Escher's artwork in Second Life. So this is 3D. You can walk around, you know, you can, as a human, you can, like, this is a 3D object. You can stand on this thing, you know, so it's three-dimensional. So, and she also created, I don't know if it's he or she, but she's a Malan Jen. So you can see this amazing thing. You see, you standing in this, I forgot what structure it is, E8 or something, the higher dimensional polytopes. Okay, so what is mathematical art? So what is mathematical art? Mathematical art is an artwork that captures mathematics, that embodies mathematics, that the essence of this artwork is mathematics. Okay? That is the definition of mathematical artwork. Okay? Now, as opposed to this crap. Oh, glasses. Oh, wine glasses. Do you think that, when you look at this picture, is there mathematics in it? No. But why is it ray tracing? Why do programmers think ray tracing is math? Because they think, the methodology to create this, that's math, of course. But a car is also mathematics. When you see a car, do you say, oh my God, I'm seeing mathematics? No. But if you build a car, combustion engine, that's all math. My microphone, YouTube stream, that's all mathematics, okay? So ray tracing is not math. So as a programmer, let me give you something positive, okay, for you programmers or technical computer users or whatever you do, gamers or image editing, video creation, audio expert or whatever. Many of you are. So as a if you are young, many of you are. You might be thinking mathematics as a career or programming. Remember, they are different nature. Okay, they are not the same thing. They are different nature. Okay, let's go back to EMAG-Lisp because I want to code. So okay, let me show you what I need to do. Okay, let's start actually focus on the EMAG-Lisp coding now. So we already spent like 20 minutes on this chatting random, which is good. We haven't done that for a long time. So what are you guys saying? So do we have Emacs users, serious Emacs users? I get excited when I see comments that's relevant and people are, more serious about whatever I'm talking about. Yeah, you cannot paste links in chat. That's YouTube. Coffee. So Oflamio says, I want to listen to you bash MBTI. That's Myers-Briggs thing. I have an article on that. Okay, I have an article on that. I think you can just search it. Xali Myers-Briggs. This personality. So there it is. Okay, that's on xali.org. This personality test. Myers-Briggs, the personality test, and that conned the world. That's true. That's the history. That's what it is. Con. Cheating, it's a kind of a scam. Okay, if I'm going to talk about this, it's going to be full 1 hour. Okay, so because it relates to psychology, there's a lot about it in psychology. So let me just quickly let me talk about this for 3 minutes, okay? So Myers-Briggs, you are probably familiar. There's a lot of internet websites that gives you the test of your personality. It summarized as 4-letter, code. I for example, I am INTP. Okay. So yeah, there it is. There's INFP, 4 letters, okay, ESTJ. I'm more or less INTP, I think, or a little bit ENTP, okay, INTP. So anyway, it's a psychology, that's a personality test, okay, Myers-Briggs. There are several variations actually over the past 20 years. There's Anyway, that's a psychology personality test. Okay, it gives you a code that signify what kind of person you are, and then maybe some theories about what type of person works with other type of person. Or Flamio, says I'm INTJ. Okay, J is judgmental. So I'm actually between J and P. So anyway, it's a rough test. Okay, so this test became hugely popular in 1990s even. Okay, now many of you Zoomers think you just saw this, you think it's new. In fact, in the year 2000s, this is the first one that's on the internet all over the place. Actually, psychology test, personality test is one of the things that becomes popular all the time. So depending on what year, there's particular test that becomes crazy. Today you call it become a meme, become anyway, it was super popular. So anyway, back in 1990s, 1997, I even went to the library and I read the book. I borrowed several books related to this, so I read about it because when I was younger, we thought about, we have problems. I have problems. Depression, what exactly is my problem? You read a lot of books, so I read tons of them. Anyway, let me just stop talking about this in 2 more minutes, then let's go back to EMAG-Lisp. Okay, so it's a personality test. And, all these personality tests, the psychology itself, psychology is an academic topic. Psychology is an academic topic, and it's partially science. It's not a hard science. You would classify it as social science. Okay, so in social science is not hard science. It's not like math, physics, engineering. If you get something incorrect, people die. Okay, now but on psychology and other social sciences, political science, social communications, journalism, those are those are not science. Okay, those are just trying to be science. So psychology is, you might call a soft science. It's not completely art. You might say, oh, it's just, it's not arbitrary, but they use scientific methods to try to find the nature, the quality, the characteristics of human animals, whether you can classify them. For example, personality is a thing. And there's also mental illness, many of us are afflicted with. In Malayan Gen Zoomer idiots jargon, we would say autistic. You are watching me because I'm autistic. Idiots, these Zoomers. So psychology is a soft science. That means it's not it's not 100% correct. And as a soft science, in particular psychology, it's filled with scams, and this Myers-Briggs is one such scam. So it gives you, it tests your personality. It gives you, a score of your personality. So you might say, so the ultimate question is how correct it is. It classifies human animals' personality into these 16 categories, right? So you might ask, is it correct? Is it good? Does it work? Does it work to classify human personalities into these 16 categories? There are different type of personality tests which classify using other schemes. For example, there's one called Big Five, which Jordan Peterson is very fond of. Big Five that tests your explorativeness. They use their own jargons. But anyway, so the question you want to ask is this test correct? Does it work? is it test for, and you need to do this comparatively. Is this test, how they classify human personality into this 16 category? Does it has predictive value? Does it work? In other words, like what is the effect? Once okay, fine. So you can classify all human animals into these categories. What does it do? What does it do? What good does it do? Does it suddenly can tell you, oh, you are a bad guy, you are a good guy, or this guy is good for programming, that guy is good for being a lawyer? What does it do? The power, the power of the test. And you have to do this comparatively. You have to compare to other psychology tests. But ultimately, like I said, psychology is a soft science. So in fact, it's pretty hard to assess just how good it is. Okay, there are many psychology personality tests. It's hard to actually say this test is better than that one. Okay, somewhat similar to IQ test. There's all sort of tests. There's but that's one thing. Okay, first of all, we can't be sure. We cannot say for sure this is a good test or not. That's one thing. The other thing I want to say why this is bad is that it turns, many of these popular personality tests, they originated from essentially a scam, okay? And lots of psychology or psychology popularity, something about for example, Freud, one of the main school of psychoanalysis, psychoanalysis from Sigmund Freud, how you pronounce it. He's one of the main school of thought in psychology. Psychology, they also have different theories. So, how do you pronounce it? Freud. Okay, something. Let's get the pronunciation. Freud. Okay, I don't know how do you pronounce it, but anyway, he's one of the mainstream. Okay, Freud, Sigmund Freud. Okay, he's one of the main school of thought in psychology. There's also behaviorism. His school is called psychoanalysis. So it's typified by how you see a photo of a client lying on a big chair or comfortable sofa, and then a psychologist asks questions and take notes. That's and his theory is saying it ties everything to sexuality and mother. Okay, lots of that. Then there's also anyway. So we're getting into psychology. So let's go back to this test. Okay. So I was saying, first of all, this test, you cannot be sure. There's no sure way to assess whether this personality test is good or not, or whether it is better than another. Okay, there are quite a few. So we don't know. We don't really know. It's, basically all psychology tests, they come out, seems reasonable. Because first of all, if I'm going to tell you, oh, you are the type of guy who are interested in computers, what does it do? Of course, of course you are, because otherwise you wouldn't watch this video. Then some people, but it's kind of fuzzy, okay? For example, let me give you an example. Color test, one of the most simple psychology test is, which color do you like? Okay. So you have a test, red, blue, which color do you, what's your favorite color? That is the most simplest personality test. Okay, then given that test, we can ask, what good does it do? Does it actually work? Well, it does work in some way. For example, if you like red, if you like the color red, that probably means you are more flashy. You are more, maybe extrovert. You want to, somewhat. Okay, if you like the color black, then maybe it means you are more kind of a secretive person, or maybe you perceive, you are afraid, you don't, you are maybe antisocial. Maybe you are like the Batman character, the Batman. you know, you are kind of dark, because colors associate with history and associate with culture. And if you like white, and maybe you are a purist, you are pure, you like everything clean, maybe you like things clean cut, you like things you like things innocent, for example, which is opposite to black, which is often has the connotation of darkness. So color test, so it does, at least a little bit, shows your personality. Okay, so you could say, that's a valid color test, yeah, but it's fuzzy. That's the thing. So first of all, nobody can really say it's valid test or not. That's one thing. Now the second thing is that a lot of these psychology tests, they stem from a scam. Basically, someone wanted to become rich, okay? Then they promote their theory. Now, Myers-Briggs is one such example. And this woman who wrote this book, her name is Merv Emery, something like that, Merv Emery. So she wrote this book, and she dug into she's on Twitter, by the way. She dug into the history of the Myers-Briggs, then you started to see it's a little bit of a cult, the history basically created by two sisters, or mother and daughter, I forgot. Then they made the test. They are not psychologists. They are not psychologists. They just made the test and became popular because it just like today. Today you have memes, you have social justice, you have genders. That's current thinking. The current thinking. 20 years, every 10 years, every 20 years, you have certain current thinking. Older people, especially young people, believes it. So, and especially things like psychology, personality, you don't need to know mathematics to understand it. You don't need several years of training in programming and engineering to appreciate it. When things are about psychology, everyone is like have opinion about, So that's why they became popular. So they started a company or something. They become bigger and bigger. Money. They make money. That is the point. Okay. They promote their test because they make a lot of money. So they become bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's a corporation. It's and copyright, and of course. So anyway, that is my criticism of the Myers-Briggs. Okay. And, when I began it, when I first learned it, I did my test, INTP, I was also very enthusiastic. I was thinking this is correct. I'm the architecture type, according to the analysis of the types, INTP, or a little bit ENTP or INTJ, for each letter, you have a degree, they give you a number, something like that. So when I first did this in the late 1990s, I thought this is, then I would put in my blog, just like today, you'll see people on Twitter. Twitter is now fantastic, okay? So you will see a lot of people put on Twitter, especially INTP types, like you and me, or Flamio, and many of us on Discord, because like-minded people, we are half of us are programmers, right? So we are excited about this, the correctness, about this finding about ourselves. One of the thing about psychology is that most human animals, almost all of us, we just focus on us. Okay, I just care about me. So And so when I learned that, oh yeah, I'm INTP, and because therefore because that means I'm best, I'm good at engineering, I'm good mathematician, and then you look at some other opposite, E something something. Oh yeah, those are lawyers, those are the social butterflies, those are idiots, something like that. Okay, that's about the Myers-Briggs test. Okay, are we still going to do Emac Lisp? Yeah, I want to. Tyler Myers says, saw an interview with a former CIA agent on Lex Fridman. He explained that MBTI is a useful tool for quickly categorizing people while working undercover to try to get a predictive line on them. It so happens we on XR Discord we discussed that video. I watched that video, the whole video. We discussed that about 2 months ago with George. So in fact, I have a blog on that guy, on that CIA operative. I think that guy is super smart, okay? Meanwhile, Lex Fridman is the most idiotic fuck possible. Should I show my blog? Because there's a lot of politics. I'd rather not show it on video. Those of you who are really interested, you can find my stuff. Just search for Xali Lex Fridman. Okay, Lex Fridman is one of the lowest IQ. He doesn't know nothing. In fact, I doubt his capabilities. He's supposedly to be this assistant professor doing AI, artificial intelligence. But I find him, I watched quite a few, not too many. I watched about, by now, maybe at least 5 of his video interviews. He does a lot of them, tons of it. Interview famous people, C creator, all the language creators, famous programmers, and language creators and scientists, Stephen Wolfram too, and AI big shots. He interviewed a lot of people. Okay, but Lex Fridman is like Joe Rogan. Okay, Lex Fridman is like Joe Rogan, the babbling monkey. He doesn't know nothing. He's the most idiotic, offensive fuck. Because he interviewed a lot of people, and I'm interested in those topics, artificial intelligence and programming. So, and also I'm interested in particular in those people he interviewed. Okay, so for example, recently he interviewed this guy, Kurzweil, very famous. I think he's sort of crackpot, but I'm not sure yet. I always have an impression Kurzweil is some kind of crackpot. By now he's pretty old, like 80, around 80 or something. So anyway, I watch so many of the people he interview. I'm very interested. Whenever that guy talk about the universe or programming something very interesting, the Lex Fridman always fucked it up. He just babbles something idiotic. He think he's making comedy or he's thinking, smooth interview. Whenever that someone he interviews is making very interesting statement or opinion about something big in big science or whatever, the Lex Fridman idiot often just babble something to destroy it. Then it becomes something else, misleading. The conversation becomes something else. The fucking Lex Fridman idiot. And I don't think, so my opinion of him is very low. Okay, and in particular in that video where he interviews this CIA ex-CIA agent, this CIA, I forgot the name, but it's on my blog. This CIA agent is very intelligent. Okay, I highly value what he says. Okay, this CIA agent. However, he indeed mentioned that MBTI is very useful. He, in the interview, he says, the Myers-Briggs is one of the best psychology tests. Okay, so that's a good point. That's a good opinion. You listen to other people. follow smart people. Okay, that's one of the things you want to do. Associate with high IQ people. Okay, you listen to what they say. So I very much, in my opinion, in my judgment, I very much, in my opinion, that guy is very smart. Okay, so, but then he has an opinion that the Myers-Briggs test is a good one. So okay, that's interesting. So it's not like, oh yeah, then if he says that he's then he's stupid. No, but you absorb different people. There's all diverse, different kind of people. So if he says that, okay, that registers in my mind. Okay, that opinion. But again, like I said, you in general, you want to look at things broadly. Okay, everything you do, I try, at least that's my mentality. Everything I do, may it be programming or social things, whatever thing, I try to put it in the context of humanity. Okay, the history of human animals. So you look at, so for example, if we are talking about psychology test, for example, if we are talking about the Myers-Briggs, first of all, so what is it? Okay, it's a personality test. Okay, what is personality test? Okay, it's part of psychology. Okay, what is psychology? Okay, psychology is part of the broad academic study. You want to look at the context. You want to put things into the context of human animals history, 3,000 years of recorded history, or a million or more years of, so you want to look at what's the importance of this thing in terms of human history. Same thing I value. In the same way, when you look at programming languages, Emacs, Lisp, or Python, I try to, at least that's my mindset, I try to put them into some kind of broad relevance in the context of the entire human endeavors. Okay, then I make whatever judgment. Whatever thing may be. It may be coding style. For example, if you are a programmer, your debate about coding style or memory management of the Rust, the Rust language, or so that's how I try to judge things. Okay, so this so this this video, are we still trying to are we still going to do Emacs Lisp then? Maybe not. It's we haven't had a long random chat for a long time, because in the past half a year I've been trying to be more focused on focused video on programming tutorials and Wolfram language, and so we haven't done this kind of random chat, which is very fun though. So let's okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, maybe we should stop, because then the video is gonna be more than 1 hour. So yeah, so if we stop now, then today's topic is, this video is just going to be something about psychology. Okay, so let's see what are the, do I have viewers? How many? 4. Oh God, the paucity of my viewers. So there's a question: is there an alternative to Lex Fridman for interviewing smart people? Well, I don't know. So today the two biggest is Joe Rogan, of course, Joe Rogan and Lex Fridman. But both of them are idiots, and that kind of makes sense because only those type of people who try, interviewing famous people is one of the sure way to get yourself to make yourself super popular, because all the famous people, famous people, celebrities, especially in technology or in politics, that's by definition, famous people. By definition, most people know them, so they want to, listen to what they say. So if you are doing a YouTube, just interview these famous people. That's one of the sure way to become very popular. That's essentially the story of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is one of the most idiotic guy. So, but if you are, that's what they do. It's So there's a question: have you read Systems Thinking by Donella Meadows? No. Let's look at what that is. Okay. Yeah, this is German. Now let's go to English. Systems thinking is a way of making sense of the complexity of the world by looking at it in terms of wholes and relationships rather than by splitting it down into its parts. Okay. It has been used as a way of exploring and developing effective action in complex contexts. Systems thinking draws on and contributes to systems theory and system sciences. Okay. No, I have not heard of it, but this kind of description, the first sentence is okay, looking at the things from the whole. But then it started to talk about systems theory and system sciences. I think those are starting to get into, crackpot and stuff. These cybernetics, systems science, those are kind of wishy-washy crackpots. Interdisciplinary. Yeah, usually those are. So system theory is an interdisciplinary study of systems, that is, cohesive groups of interrelated, interdependent components that can be natural or human-made. Every system has causal boundaries, is influenced by its context, defined by function, rule, blah, blah, blah. This kind of crap, okay? I would say just crap. This system, boundaries, homeostasis, adaptation, feedback loop, reciprocal transactions, microsystems, crap, okay? System theory, it's crackpot. System science, crap. So, so maybe I'm thinking in terms of the whole, but I wouldn't, go with systems thinking, whatever that is. That itself is a fad. It's kind of, that's how they then there is critical system thinking. We're getting into critical theory now. Crap. Yeah, Stephen Wolfram interviews people. But Stephen Wolfram's, so I highly recommend Stephen Wolfram's stuff, although he tends to be repetitive, because Stephen Wolfram, he's using Wolfram language. I've been talking about Wolfram language all the time, my favorite language by far. I've been coding it since 1990s. So, and I work at Wolfram Research. I know Stephen Wolfram a little bit. We met in 1995. So, I like that guy, his view of things. I highly respect him. Both, he's one of the rare who is, one of the top programmers. He wrote Mathematica. He created the Mathematica language. But he's a top programmer. He's also one of the top physicists. He's also a genius, certified genius, because when he was 17 or so, he won MacArthur Awards with $1 million funding, something like that. So anyway, so he's a top programmer, top physicist. He been publishing he was a teen, in publishing in physics journals, and then he left academia to create Wolfram Research, which became a successful and private-owned company. So he's also one of the top entrepreneur, top businessman, top innovative. I hate the word entrepreneur, hard to pronounce, a mouthful. I rather would say innovative businessman. Okay, innovative businessman. So anyway, Stephen Wolfram is multi-talented, accomplished. That's the way to put it. Because you look at what he has done successfully. So he has been the best successful programmer by his product. So I demonstrated Wolfram language in lots of my videos. So Wolfram language, top programmer, top businessman, and top physicist. Okay. But that's not all. And he went, he also started to create his kind of philosophy about computational universe. Cellular automata is his thing. So so in other words, cellular automata, his theory about computation is a bit controversial. It's not universally accepted, but however but the topic of cellular automata is hard science. Okay, it's hard science, part of, he's a founder of the cellular automata, so the science of cellular automata, and which he would call, the universal computational equivalence theory. Okay, that's his theory. Let me show you. Okay, let's see computational equivalence. Okay, that's one of his principle of computational equivalence. Okay, there is so he's got tons of articles, but there is a Wikipedia. So let's go to Wikipedia. Theory of computation. Not here. And there is a article on Wikipedia of that. Not general relativity. There is a Wikipedia article, but you have to find it there. Wait. Equivalence principle, no. Okay, so that's his book. I have on my website. I have I wrote a annotated version of this book. So we want to search for equivalence. Okay, principles of computational equivalence. I remember there used to be a independent article about it. But anyway, so Stephen Wolfram is an accomplished man, super talent in several fields, in programming, in physics, in business, in business. But he created this field of automata, cellular automata, okay, and he believed in a theory of computational equivalence, which is his theory, not universally accepted. Okay, so I very much like his ideas, and I very much like his views. So you can go, he also does videos every week, several videos, on YouTube. So you can watch him. But he also wrote blogs. Each one of his blog is several thousand words, takes several hours to finish. So I read a lot of them, almost half of them. So in fact, Stephen Wolfram is one of the person I follow personally, because since 1990s, let's say up to 2005, I have read basically everything written by Stephen Wolfram. Back then there's not, internet is not like today, so you also read books, and so I almost read everything that's available online by Stephen Wolfram. So I studied this guy very much, and I like his views a lot. Do you stand him? What do you mean? So I highly recommend, you can read his blog or watch his videos, but he tends to be repetitive, because he, in the past 10 years, he often just focused on his idea, the new kind of science, cellular automata. He's gonna talk about it nonstop. Like you would hear, if you watch tons of his things, then you'll hear the same thing often. But anyway, he also have great, so I would say I highly recommend him, because I still read him. I still read him today. Lots of, and lots of things. So yeah, I recommend it. So back to the thing we were talking about. So he sometimes does interview of other, accomplished mathematicians or physicists, usually old, like 70 years old or 80 years old. So, but his interview is usually very dry and boring. So, because Stephen Wolfram is not, if you watch, let me give you my view of his character, okay, online. So when you watch him, video, you watch him talk, you see this nerd, he's kind of nerd kind of guy. He, it's not like it's not someone with high charisma, I would say. He's more like a nerd. He so you may not find it on the surface very attractive. Anyway, that's it for today, I think. Okay, bye guys. Now, if you like my video, post it. Okay, post it to your Twitter. Get a if you are watching this offline, get some parts you find interesting, get a URL with a timestamp, post it, comments, or post to your Twitter, to your blog, or tell your friends. Okay, do that for me. Or you can donate, of course. You go to my website, you can see donation button. Thank you guys for that. That's it. Bye. Shut down in 1 minute. Yeah, so we didn't do Emac Lisp today. That's okay, because I did tons of Emac Lisp coding, tons in the past. And so I'm just going to do it offline. Like I have a lot to code. Every day I have tons of things to code. And oftentimes I think of, doing a live stream of it. But I've done so many, like for Emac Lisp coding, I've done more than 50 in the past year or two. More than 30 at least. So if you want to actually watch Emac Lisp, just go to Xali Emac Lisp, okay? Xali.info, then scroll down, Emac Lisp, then you have introduction, and then you have more than that. Then you have practical Emac Lisp. There's a video of that. Then you go to Emac Lisp writing a major mod. There's a video on that as well. So those are fundamental. You should watch those, okay? Okay, bye guys.